Hey there everybody, this is Dine. As you can see, I have Blender loaded up here, and I am going to be attempting to make a brand new cart. If you've seen my previous devlogs that I posted a while back, I've been making little kart racers for a game. So I came up with some new designs the other day, and I decided to try to make them. Figured I'd make a video of it. Before I start, you may notice that I'm running 2.69.10. That is a development build of Blender, and that's why I have all these tabs over here for various things. So certain aspects of my interface may be different than you would expect from 2.69. On the other hand, if you're watching this after the beginning of March-ish, this sort of interface change may be official. I know that that is coming in the next version, 2.70. But if you wish to use this this build of Blender, I believe the hash on it is 1DD05A1. So, like I said, that's graphicall.org, where you can get various builds that people have made for Blender. Anyway, I'm going to delete this cube, and also this cube that I accidentally hit the button for. And I'm going to get started. So I'm going to move my cursor to, the center of this grid. Alright, I'm going to look down the y-axis here. I'm going to create a cylinder and align it to the view so that I'm facing the cylinder, the end cap. I only want about, 16 vertices, because this is a low poly game mesh, so we don't want it to be too crazy. This is probably a bit short for what I want, so I go into edit mode. You know what? Before I forget about it, because I have already forgotten about it, I'm going to go in here and find add-ons and add these. Oh, actually, it's probably already on. Yep, it is on. So I just need to turn it on. Screencast keys. It's right down here at the bottom. Start display. Now you should be able to see down in here my my keys and stuff that I press. Alright, so I'm going to stretch this out a bit. Zoom in. Alright, so I'm going to hit S and then X to, Y to scale on the y-axis. And I'm going to scale it up to about 1.5. Which looks like a decent length for the vehicle I have in mind. Alright, so that's part one. And I'm going to tab back out of edit mode. And it never fails, by the way. As soon as I start recording or talking, I start getting a little sniffly. So, if you hear me sniffing or whatever, that's just a side effect. Alright. Now, the vehicle that I'm making here is a mole miner. Let me see if I can find my sketch that I drew. And I will put it up on the screen, hopefully. There, Simon's Mole Miner. Diggy Diggy Mole. So that's the vehicle that I'm working on right now. Okay. Now, the cursor needs to be here, and I'm going to put it on the grid. Roughly. So it needs to be centered on the y-axis. And let me make sure it's still centered. Yep. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the screw tool to create a drill. So, let's add a plane and align it to the view and then go into edit mode. Now, up here at the top, you'll see the selection mode. I have an add-on that I created that cycles through these when I hit the space bar. So that's why you see me hitting space, and it toggles to vertex mode. Once you cycle through these, you get to vertex mode, and then I'm just going to drag them around. So put them up like this, like this. Actually, I'm going to undo this first and select this one, G, and Z. So I'm going to grab it and move it along the Z axis up to about there. All right, and then I'm going to do these two. I'm just going to drag these. So G and G. And I want, basically I'm making the profile for my drill. All right, this is wildly out of scale here, but the profile for my drill should come up like this and then go back down a little bit. So it has like the tooth of a screw if I'm looking at a cross section of it. So let's see, I want another face in here, or another vertex in here, so I'm going to subdivide it. Get back to my vertex selection and grab that, move it like so, like so. And I don't think this needs to be quite that far back. It needs to be a little steeper. Okay. So this would be the cross-section of one of the little teeth of the drill, or the spiral that goes around the drill. Alright, and it's going to run around this axis. And I'm trying to remember exactly how to do it such that... here, let's see. See what this does. You have to, oh. Important tip. This should not be a face. It should actually just be a line of vertices. So let me get this one and delete it. Delete edge. Okay. So if I do a spiral of this, then we will see what happens. Let's go do this. Screw. I didn't select it because I'm an idiot. That screw. There you go. So I've got a spiral around the axis. Now you notice it doesn't taper at all. It's way too long, like that, etc. So I don't actually want to do that. Alright, so I'll get back into my side view here. I want to shrink this along the y-axis considerably. Like maybe there. Possibly even smaller. So maybe if I shrink these. SY. Oops. I need to change to 3D cursor. SY. Like so. Alright. Now, GY. Put it about, let's see, a little bit further than this. I'm thinking that the drill should be about half the length of this vehicle. So, let's try this. Alright, so screw tool, dink. Now you can adjust stuff here. So if I want one turn, then, then I just have one turn. And if I have two, then I have this. You'll notice that it's actually got one face inside out. So we can fix that later. Once it is flipped, this line of faces right here, then it'll be a solid object. So now there's another problem with this. One is that it's going in the wrong direction. So just move it back this way, I guess. Well, let's not do that because I need to fix this. GY. Alright. Alright, first thing is that it's not getting narrower. Second problem is that it actually is not wide enough. So I need to move it out here. Like so. So it'll be a bit wider. Maybe not quite that wide. Like that. And so let's try that. Screw tool. Okay, it's looking better. I need a couple more turns, I think. Okay. That looks about the right length. So now I want 12 turns. That might be excessive. 348 triangles. Maybe not. Alright, so screw tool. Twink. 12. Okay, so alright, so that's one problem solved ish. Now, how to make it taper as it goes along here? Well, the way this works is that as it goes along the path or along the axis, it moves parallel to a vector. A vector is length and a direction. Alright? So that vector is actually determined by the two endpoints of this profile. So right now, you'll notice that these two endpoints are actually parallel to the y-axis. That's why it's not getting any narrower. So what I actually need to do is, well, theoretically I need to move these down, but I'm going to actually move this one up, like so, and then move the whole thing down. Whoops. There we go. Now, this will taper along this vector right here. So like that. It needs to be a bit steeper than that though. So let's move these down. Okay, this vector, that might be a little too weird like that. Alright. This vector points to about out here somewhere, I guess. So let me select it and try that. See, it tapers down. Not quite to a point, because it does not go all the way. There's not an even multiple of times that it can rotate this shape around before it crosses this axis. So it's probably slightly too steep. So let me move this up, this up, this up. Alright, oops, 7, thank you. Screw tool, that's a little better. Still not quite perfect, but close enough, I think, for my purposes. So I have a little drill, and I need to take all of these faces. Actually, I should have left that selected. That is going to be, that's my profile shape right there. So I'm going to remove it to a separate object and hide it. Alright, now I need to get all these on the same direction. Oops, recalculate. Okay, so we've got sort of a drill. It's not quite perfect. Now, how do we make this better? Well, I'm going to leave this as an object for a moment. I'm going to hide it, and I'm going to take this one. I'm going to set the point of it. Come on, get in there, A. And I'm going to set this to, no, I don't want that. Z-axis 0. Alright. Okay. So that's 0. Now, if I do this up here, I'm going to move it back as well. G, Y. This is actually 3 long, so 1, 2, 3. G, Y. Oops. G, Y. Like so. Right now I'm going to run the screw tool. Like so. And it runs back towards the cursor instead of forward. So that's what's controlling the direction apparently. Alright. So this is a little better. Still not perfect, but we can probably work with this. I'm going to again move this, the profile that I started with, to a new object, and I'm going to recalculate this. This may look very, what's the word I'm looking for? This may look very coarse as a drill, you know, very highly, the proportions are very obvious and blatant. But that's fine. It's supposed to be kind of cartoony. How can we solve this deal with the drill? Well, I could take this and rotate it, just lathe it around for a couple of turns. I'm not sure if that'll work. Let's try that. Spin. I want to go not 90 degrees. How about 180 degrees? If you saw that D in this field, that's because this version of Blender also does units. So if I click in here now, it says 180D, as opposed to radians or whatever. Okay, so I've done that. Now I want, there should be 6 steps to match our 12-step. It was 12 steps, right? Our 12-step profile. Probably should be 360 degrees, to be honest. So let's try that. 360. And 6. That should actually be 12 now. Out of the text field there. Alright, so let's look at it in solid view here. I need to adjust this to something more reasonable. And 100 meters maybe. 0.1. How about that? Alright, so basically by lathing that profile, which is going away now, in a circle, it goes around, all the way around, until it meets back up where it started, more or less. So, just like that. Now, I could probably do the same thing over here. Oh, get out of that. Try this again. Spin, 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 spin. 360 degrees. Let's see what it's doing. Well, it's spinning possibly backwards. 1. There we go. Alright. Move that to a new one. Get rid of that. Alright. Let's take these. I'm not entirely sure how to do this, what I want here. What I'm thinking about doing is gradually tapering this inward in a spiral. Not sure what the easiest way to do that is. Boom, 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 boom. I could do it like, just manually. Alright, let's try that. We want to shift, or scale rather, in the not y-axis, so shift y. If I did y, then it would be in the y-axis. If I do shift y, it's in the other two axes, x and z, or z. So, shifting only in the not y-axis, Looks like my z-axis is a bit off, but whatever. We'll go with 0.1. Maybe not that much. 0.5. Ugh. Get back into position. S, shift Y, 0.5. S, shift Y, 0.55. Let's see what this is doing. Kind of merging in. Now, let's see. Let's undo that. Alright. Now, what is the point, S shift Y, at which this becomes inside? Roughly 0.8. So, if I take, let me get out a calculator here. We want to go 0.2, scale it down by 0.2, or no more than that, times, no, let's see, 12 divided by 0.2, it's 1.06. You know what? Let's do it this way. Let's select all these. Okay. We're going to scale it. S, shift Y, 98.94. 0.9894. Enter. Now we're going to remove this one and repeat last. Did that work? Yes. Repeat last. Ugh. Alright, let's try that again. S, shift Y, 0.9894, enter. Okay, remove this one, repeat last. Remove this one, repeat last. This one, repeat last, etc. Somehow I don't think this is the right value, but close enough. Close enough for hand grenades. Okay. Move doubles. All right. Move that one. Alright. And why not this one up here as well? Like that. Alright, now if I join these, see, A, C. Is that not what I should have done? C, B. Remove doubles. Okay, A. Alright, so we have a drill. It's not perfect, but it'll work. So now we need to work on the vehicle. However, I need to make sure... I'm going to stop this video for now because I am nearly out of drive space. So, see you guys next time. Bye.